This episode of Convert to Raid is brought to you in part by Audible. With over 150,000 audiobooks and counting, what are you waiting for? Try Audible free for 30 days and get your free audiobook just for signing up right now. Audible.com/Gamebreaker. Welcome home, Raiders. This week, time is money, friend, and that is what Blizz is actually giving you. And we're kicking it old school and having some classic pains. This is CTR 162.
You're listening to Convert to Raid, the podcast for Raiders in the world of Warcraft.
The CTR Podcast Power Station, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, like it really matters. Today is November 23rd, 2014, and it is now 11:25 a.m. Central Standard Time. And thanks for joining us from all around World of Warcraft land. And hello, my name, Pat Crane. I'm the host of this little shindig, also called Zug, all around Airy Peak, US, and still not raiding. But that's only because there are no raid. Well, actually, there is one raid available. So we'll talk about that later. But the players are here as well. So let's go to serene Seattle. To Darius.
Hey.
Hey, buddy.
I had a nightmare last night that I slept through the show. Well,
and then I didn't call you.
Yeah, I'm still very mad. I'm not talking to you for the whole show.
All right. Sweet. That makes it easy for me. Nice. So let's go out to La La Land, to Hollyweird, California, to the Funky Monk. It's Coltrane.
Fortune cookie say.
Oh, boy.
A cross-eyed teacher can't control his pupils. Yeah, I'm literally laughing at my own joke.
Show's over. Show's over.
I know.
What are we doing?
I'm sorry it's not WoW related. I don't have my phone, and on my phone I've got today's fortune cookie, and I don't have it. I forgot it. I was in a hurry.
Oh boy.
And so I'm sorry to the individual whose fortune I did not read today.
Well,
but I'm seeing 50 out of 10 bongos and 100 out of 10.
Well, you know.
Yes.
I question the chat room right now.
Justin Bragg 911 said, I literally lolled at that one. So thank you, Justin Bragg.
Right. Well, thank you for the lovely fortune cookie.
That was sent in by Quarter
really.
Panda. Quarter Panda.
Quarter Panda.
Quarter Panda with
name.
cheese.
I love
the
that
name is funnier.
Yes,
No,
I would agree with that. I would agree.
All the bongo.
I would agree. So,
what's up, guys?
Yeah, we've had another big week in WoW this week, and we should probably just see where we're at now.
Did we? I didn't notice. Did something happen?
Well, kinda. Some things have happened. A lot has been explained, and some things have happened.
I have friends now, so I can't spend time raiding and doing things like that. There's all these people in my garrison that want to hang out with me.
I know, it's crazy, right?
I don't have time for everything else.
Garrisons are kind of cool. I'm kind of digging them.
But you get mad at them when they fail a mission. Like, especially when there's a high percentage. You really get upset. You're like, come on!
Yeah.
When that happens, I go and find them in my garrison, and I talk to them. And if you have the barracks, you can do this. And I say, hey, why don't you come on a mission with me? And then I take them out, and I pull something really big, and I fade, and I let them die.
That's awesome.
I like it.
That is an example for everyone else.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I know that I had a couple of missions fail at like 93, 95%. And I question that quite a bit. So I don't know. I'm just kind of upset. So let's talk a little bit about what's been going on this week in WoW with you guys. And Darius, I know that you hit 100 last week by the show last week. Where are you sitting as far as gear goes right now?
636, I think.
Nice.
Is what I was at. Doing those dungeons, getting the legendary ring, all that kind of stuff. Still got a few pieces that are a little bit behind. I've actually been getting more luck getting trinkets from my Garrison from my followers than I have from dungeons. Those trinkets don't want to drop.
Wow. That's crazy. Colt, how about you? Where are you sitting at now since last week? What's been going on?
I've been gearing up as well. Hit 100. I am item level 635.
Wow.
Just under Darius.
Wow.
Just back there. I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. On the stream here, did you know that the Molten Corgi, the pet that came, which we're going to talk about in a minute?
Yeah.
It rubs his butt, but it actually leaves a lava mark, and then it turns around
and it sniffs
it. It sniffs the lava mark. What the heck, Blizz? What? This is insane.
This is why the servers
happen.
went down for 5 days or so. This is why they were so unstable, because the devs were spending all their time making that animation perfect, and boy, was it worth it.
I've never seen that. I just saw it. I was like, what? Oh, I'm playing 635. That's insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Molten Corgi, shame on you, Blizz. Shame on you, Blizz.
And,
or GT.
And way to go.
Yes, but basically just been gearing up and also realizing how much I really screwed up on the Garrisons.
Yeah.
Leveling them up. The mistakes that I made.
Yeah.
And with alts, I'm doing it right now. And the big thing was Garrison resources.
Yeah.
I mean, holy cow, you don't realize how important these resources are.
Right.
And I made a lot of bad buildings that I shouldn't have done and sent out for like money gold missions. Like, no, I should have saved those resources and used them for XP. So yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. So I'm remedying this on my alts. But I really screwed up the old Garrison here on my monk. So.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one,
Right.
buddy. I totally did too, and I'm still sitting. I'm almost to the tier 3 Garrison finally.
Right.
But I'm not there yet. And because I screwed up, I made a bunch of bad decisions.
Right. Exactly.
Which is what, I mean, and you're supposed to be able to do that stuff with Garrisons, but not really. Not at the beginning of the expansion. You want to hit it off. You want to go right. You want everything to be just like right on the money. And
you do. And it's our fault. I mean, there's plenty of guides out there and recommendations. And, Wowhead's got like a ton. Like, you go to wowhead.com. That thing is loaded with guides. Right. Did I read any of them? No.
I even read some of them and I didn't do it right.
Right. Exactly. I actually hit tier 3 on my Garrison. I did hit tier 3.
Good.
But I'm completely broke. Like, I have no more resources to build anything. Yeah. I got a lot of empty plots of land and all that stuff. Yeah. But a quick tip, actually, real quick. The Dwarven Bunker, I mentioned this on the last show. This building is amazing when you start questing in Nagrand. The only thing is like, you got your barracks and you're doing that stuff. You're in your tier 2. I actually do recommend, if you got the resources, if you haven't upgraded your barracks, when you start Nagrand, switch to that Dwarven Bunker, just level 1, because it doubles your chance of getting a rare and epic upgrade. So by the time I hit 100, I was like fully geared out, ready for heroics. In fact, I actually had a high enough eye level at level 99 to queue for heroics. So the only reason I say that is I've been seeing a lot of posts about people saying it's too hard to get geared up for heroics, and it's taking forever with this item level to get it up for heroics. Dwarven Bunker, because you'll get those quest rewards, and the majority of the quest rewards that I got were upgraded to a rare or epic. Right. So highly recommend Dwarven Bunker, but really only when you're in the Nagrand stage, like level 99. The earlier stuff, it's just going to help you, get better gear level.
Well, and especially if you've been raiding, if you were raiding in Siege of Orgrimmar and into heroics and all that kind of stuff, and you were heroically geared from Siege or mythically geared, whatever it is, I think that you don't really care until you hit about level 98, 99. That's when you start kind of seeing you're kind of changing over your gear a little bit more. So
right. In fact, can I ask you one more thing I'm hearing about Garrisons? This will just take 2 seconds. So resources, right? So one thing we don't have, right? Zug and I, you and I, we are broke on resources.
Right.
So you start asking around. Well, where do you get resources? Well, everyone says, well, the lumber mill, obviously. It generates so many a day. But what I'm hearing, you get that inn, right? That Lunar Fall Inn for the Alliance, the inn. And then you upgrade it to level 2. And then you recruit followers with this scavenging trait, scavengers. And you send them on the Garrison missions that you get, and it like doubles the amount that you get. So I know some people that are getting like 400, 500, 600 resources a day because they're using these Garrison or scavenging followers on these Garrison resource missions, and they're getting huge resources a day. So I don't know. I'm hearing this new thing about, oh, it's all about the inn. It's all about the inn.
Once you get followers that are high enough eye level, like 615, I think is the threshold where you start getting these quests. You start getting quests for your followers that give you 600, 700, 800 Garrison resources at a time.
What?
So, yeah, it becomes Garrison resources just start flooding in once you start getting all these things. Yeah, right. It's I'm probably getting 500 or 600 a day just from Lumber Mill and followers and whatnot.
Jeez,
yeah,
really.
It seems like this insurmountable hurdle to get your Garrison to level 3, and then once you get there and start upgrading things, they just start coming in, and it's not that big of a deal.
Good. I'm glad to hear that because
we're not there.
I am struggling. Right.
It's a really big deal at this point right now.
Yeah. No, I was the same thing. I was like, because I had upgraded everything. I had upgraded my Garrison to level 2, and then everything in it to level 2. And I was sitting at like 100 resources, and I was like, man, I need 2,000 or whatever it was. I was like, this is gonna take forever. And I actually went and farmed almost all of the rares and found almost all of the rare items out in the world to get up to that 2,000 mark. And then I made that in the Lumber Mill. And once you get the Lumber Mill and the followers start getting those resources, it just starts coming in.
All right. Maybe we should do a little Lumber Mill action too there, Zuggers.
Yeah.
Lumber Mill definitely helps a lot.
I have that. And I just find it kind of I found it kind of a struggle to go out and get the trees because everybody's looking for them. So it's a little bit tough especially at peak times, I think. But you have to go out to, I've been going out to Nagrand, and the big forested areas of Shadow Moon Valley and stuff like that. And
right.
Sometimes it's tough, sometimes not so much. So it kind of comes in streaks, I think.
You should definitely tell everybody on the show where you go and farm trees.
Okay. Well, I start off, if you look at the map,
head northeast.
That's right. always. Well, let's talk a little bit about, before we get into actual rating news, let's talk about what happened this week in WoW, because there were some big things that were revealed this week, just about Warcraft in general. And first of all, so after the show, there were continuing problems with logins and with queues and, some crashes and some updates and stuff like that. And then next we had actually a message from J. Allen Brack, who's like one of the top guys in World of Warcraft, right? And it was an apology letter. And he told us what, Darius?
Everyone is getting 5 free days of the Worlds of Warcrafts.
Yay!
Woo!
Yay!
There we go.
This is to make up for the 5 days or so that things were not as good as they should have been.
Right. And I think that people really appreciate that. I mean, they didn't have to do 5 days. They could have done 3 or something like that. Just to go over the majority of what happened. But no, they're cool like that. Colt, what do you think about all that stuff?
Blizzard's actually been really good about this stuff in the past. You know what I mean? I mean, because this really, this is like millions of dollars that they're losing essentially. But you're right. I mean, this was a big problem. Players could not get in. Some people are saying this is the worst launch in World of Warcraft's history and all that. And well, I was there on day one, but that was 10 years ago. But it's really I think it's great. I mean, 5 days is great. So it's a good thing, and people seem to be pretty happy about it. And so we'll see. But Blizzard has always been pretty good with this kind of stuff. Yeah. Awarding game time and that kind of thing for, mistakes or things that have happened.
And they haven't done this in a while. I mean, they really haven't. You haven't seen something this big of a gift to all of the players that were around from the launch date until, last week or whatever. So that was a pretty big deal, I thought, especially 5 days. That's a lot of time. And then we found out why.
Right.
We had the all the crashes and the queue times and all that kind of stuff. Colt, what was going on there?
Well, looks like WoW is back, baby, in a big way.
Right.
It's up to 10 million subs now.
Which is crazy.
10 million subs.
Which is totally. I should give another big applause there.
That's massive.
That is crazy.
Well, what's funny is Lore made a tweet. The old Lore, right? We love ourselves some Lore. And he made this tweet and he said, guys, listen, we expected to have a huge number and we made our servers ready for a huge number, but the actual number is beyond anything we could have imagined, is essentially what he was saying. And everyone was like, oh, come on, what are you talking about? And blah, blah, blah. And then you look at the numbers, you're like, oh my God.
Right. Like, at no point in the game's history have this many people come back all at once.
Right.
It's insane.
Right.
It is crazy.
We actually got a letter from somebody.
Yeah, we did.
From Aseo from Blackhand US, and he says, I have a question for Darius. On last week's episode, or maybe the week before, Darius said that WoW would never see 10 million subscribers again. As Blizzard has stated, they just went over 10 million. So my question is this. Darius, what tastes worse? One of Coltrane's fortune cookies or Darius' words on never getting to 10 million again? Are you eating crow right now for that?
I mean, nothing compares to Colt's fortune cookies, so that's not even fair.
That makes me want to drink this cup pinky out.
Oh, look at that.
Pinky out on this coffee cup.
I'm happy for Blizzard to getting back to 10 million. I didn't think it would happen. I don't think Blizzard thought it would happen.
No.
Getting back to 10 million, they went up 2.5 million subscribers in a matter of months.
Right.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
Right. And
that never happened. So
these are the same numbers that they had at the beginning of Mists of Pandaria. And so, I mean, this is really great to see all these players either coming back or new ones coming in. I'm sure that there's some new players coming in. But yeah, I think that they've hit all the right notes with Warlords of Draenor and with the savageness of it all.
Do you think that some of this has to do with the fact that they gave away a lot of free game time at the end of MOP for players that didn't have, or like that their subscriptions had lapsed, more than 30 days or something like that? They gave away a lot of 7 days or a couple weeks here and there. They sent out a lot of emails. So maybe some of that is. I mean, I'm being cynical here, but. Maybe some of those 2.5 million are those.
Sure.
I don't know, man. I also think it had to do with the boost to level 90. It's a big one. That brought a lot of people back. And they really kind of got this idea across of back to basics.
Right.
And there was a lot of stuff about, it's like Burning Crusade. And like everyone I heard that was coming back, those were their words. Like, yeah, I heard it's kind of like the Burning Crusade days, like, I got to get back into Warlords. Like, you know what I mean?
It's kind of like
gotta get back in time.
Yes.
So I mean, it is definitely one of those things. But I think that there were a lot of different things that kind of were bringing people back. It was the marketing, it was the story, and kind of the feel of Warlords and what it can bring back to the game. Don't
get me wrong. I mean, Warlords is an amazing expansion. I think it is. As I said last week, this is the most fun I've had playing WoW in a long time.
Yeah.
I made some comment last night. I think we were even doing dungeons and just grinding dungeons. And I made the comment and I was like, "Dang it, Blizz! Why did you have to make this game fun again?" Because like I need to go to sleep for the show. Make sure I got enough sleep, but I just couldn't stop playing. There's just so much to do.
There is.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do. There's way too much to do.
There is. Chanlin03 said boost to 90 got all of my guild back. So he said in the chat room. So I think that boost really, really helped, especially at the end of the commercial. You know what I mean? Even my wife was watching that and it was like, boost to level 90 and get a free 90, and she was like, oh, really? Like you? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
I actually saw that when I saw the Hunger Games yesterday, and they played the Warlords teaser trailer before. Right before the movie started, actually. So everyone in the theater saw it, and I saw a bunch of people. Some people were like, "What's at level 90?" And a few other people were like, "Oh, you could hear it."
A level 90.
But it's good. Marketing team did well.
Yeah. I think the entire team for World of Warcraft did a great job this time around. And like leveling. Oh, I finally saw the Thrall versus Gary little video.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
I don't want to, but I saw it and it was brilliant. It was just so cool to watch those two guys go head to head.
Cinematics team, man.
Yeah.
Those cinematics.
And
pretty amazing. Yeah.
Just the story in general, I think, was really solid throughout all the zones and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot. They're going off on all cylinders on this expansion, and it's great. It's great to see. So there. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about Raiden news, but before we do that, let's bring in our sponsor. Our sponsor this week is Audible, and you can try Audible free for 30 days and get a free audiobook just for going to audible.com/gamebreaker. It's true, you can. And we were just talking about the Gary and Thrall thing. So if you want to find out what actually happened just before, if you're coming back into this expansion and you weren't around during Siege, or maybe you were around during Siege and you left for a little bit, and you're back, and you want to find out what the heck happened between expansions, go check out War Crimes. And it's Christy Golden, right? I think that.
Yes, who's incredible.
And it's amazing. And you can check out the audiobook from Audible. And let me play you down just a little snippet of this. Talking about Garrosh here.
You should not have stopped Goel from killing him, Your Majesty. There is no other justice for that monster than death, and even that is more merciful than what he has done. The Ranger General's voice was sharp, and Jaina couldn't blame her, especially as she completely shared Varisa's sentiments. Garrosh Hellscream had been responsible for the destruction. No, that was too kind. Too clinical a word for what he'd done, the obliteration of the city-state of Theramore. The deaths of hundreds, all occurring in the space of a heartbeat, could be laid at his feet.
Ooh, so good. So good, yeah. And you can check it out right now. Just go to audible.com/gamebreaker, and you can get War Crimes for free, along with your free 30 days. So go do it right now. Let's get into the Raiden news.
Calling all raiders from around World of Warcraft land. This is Raiding News.
All right, it's time to check out what's happening with Raiding news around World of Warcraft land. And first up, we have some dungeon changes and hotfixes that came in this week. There was a lot of stuff going on with loot. Darius, can you explain what was going on with loot this week?
So the loot system has been all over the place. So when Warlords launched, all loot was changed to personal loot in 5-man dungeons. If you queued with a random group, the default that you couldn't change was personal loot, which meant that when a boss died, you had a chance to win loot. It was the same as LFR, exact same system. Everyone had a chance to win loot. Most bosses were giving maybe 1 or 2 pieces, but they wouldn't just drop 1. And then there was a lot of anger on the forums, and as Blizzard said, there were people even within Blizzard that were unhappy with this. People felt like they were getting cheated. They would go an entire dungeon run, and not only would they not get loot, they wouldn't even see a loot window. So they felt like, they felt like they were being cheated, even though it was likely the same chance that they were getting loot as if it was personal over Need for Greed. They didn't even see that pop up, so they felt like they didn't even get the chance to get loot.
Right.
So,
well, let me tell you something. I went through probably like 2 or 3 dungeons in a row and didn't get jack throughout those 3. Right. So I kind of understand the pain there of this stuff, and then they went and they switched it to default role. Need versus greed, like old school days, to try to fix it. But the problem there is that you're getting drops of things that people don't even want at all. They can't use it.
Now you're just getting gear that's just on the boss's loot table, and it could be, an agility trinket, and you don't have anyone in the group that uses agility,
right?
Or you get a DPS trinket and the tank rolls on it, or a tanking trinket and a DPS rolls need on it, or something like that.
Yeah,
you end up with all the loot drama again. So they swapped it back from personal to need before greed, and then about 24 hours later, they swapped it back to personal with some changes.
They really did. Colt, what were those changes that they implemented?
Well, as we all know, it's all about the loot, baby. And with personal loot, the final boss always awards loot. Yes.
Yes. I like it. I like it.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. And I love it too because my best in slot weapon drops off a final boss in one of these heroics. So I'm like, yes.
Yes.
So it's great. So it's back to personal loot. And I don't know. It's kind of a funny thing because I remember when this first happened, some people in Mumble were like, are the bosses bugged? Like, are they not dropping loot anymore? Like, what is going on here? You know, so they changed it. They went back to personal loot. I love personal loot. Seems to be happy. And a guaranteed loot drop off the final boss is just fantastic. So it's good.
And if you do the need versus greed thing and that's active, the boss is going to drop 3 items now instead of just 1 or whatever. So there will be a better chance that there will be something usable off of each boss, which is really great as well. So very good stuff. Very good stuff. And also, we had some other things happen this last week. And one of them is this.
Hit it. Kicking it old school.
Boy.
That's right.
That's right. It's the World of Warcraft 10-year anniversary celebration. It's beginning this week, or it began this week. And as we were talking about, we had the Molten Core pet. We have Southshore versus Tarren Mill, the PvP zone. And I want to see if you guys check that out. Darius, did you check this out? Because we know that you are the PvP expert on this show.
Yeah, I'm the resident PvP expert, so I have done none of that.
Better get on that, buddy.
I know.
You're our PvP guy. I mean, come on.
Exactly. So
I'm giving everyone else a head start so that when I show up, you know, it's fair.
Right.
That's all I'm doing.
That's true. The trumpet sound, behold Darius. Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I don't know. And I wasn't even, when I started World of Warcraft, it was during Wrath. And Southshore versus Tarren Mill really was not happening that much at that point. I don't know if you know that.
Right.
It was not really a thing. I'm not old school like Coltrane,
That's right.
Being in the alpha and stuff like that, but
I saw a great post somebody said. He goes, if you want to find out if someone was around since like classic WoW, don't worry, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
Right? That was a great quote. Like, don't worry, they'll mention it. So yes, Pat, funny you say, I was around during classic WoW. Right. And do remember Southshore versus Tarren Mill. I was there. Right. I don't know if you're aware of this.
Right.
But I was there.
And now people can actually win it. Instead of just going back and forth and whatever. So it's kind of nice. And so if you want to check that out, go check it out because it's going to be around for a limited time only. So yeah, they have different instances for 90 to 99, and then they have one just for the level 100 people as well. So go check that out. And of course, along with all of this 10-year celebration stuff, we also have the Molten Core 40-man LFR.
Yes!
I don't know.
Is this LFR stands for looking for res, correct?
Yeah.
or correct?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a painful experience, guys. This is a little. So I went in last night. I was playing late last night. And
you made it to the show this morning. That's impressive.
Yeah. And I jumped in as like a single player because I was like, if I'm going to do this, I want to do a little bit of research for the show. I'm going to go in, I'm going to jump in, and I'm just going to say, you know what? Let's do this as a pure LFR. And I went in, and the guys pulled like the first 2 mobs together. Wiped everybody continually, time and time again, just wiped everybody. And I was like, really, guys?
Yeah.
What's going on? And so like, I was like ducking it back into the portal, just waiting for it all to go blow over so that I could come back in. And oh God, it was just horrible. The mobs were crazy bad for all 40 people to actually kind of understand what was going on. I don't know if you guys had similar experiences or what. Coltrane, what have you tried this?
Oh yes. I've definitely done the Molten Core, and I got to tell you, I geeked out like crazy, and this is why. I don't know if you were aware. I was around in Classic WoW. I was around. I was there.
Right.
And actually, it's funny. At that time, I joined an Australian raiding guild, and I would make a pot of coffee at midnight, and we would raid from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. 3 days a week.
Oof.
And then I would go to work.
Wow.
So I was like crazy, and until literally my body quit. But we would raid Molten Core. And I have to tell you, man, I was getting amazing flashbacks being in there with 40 people, hearing the music again, the struggle, people wiping, seeing the loot that was dropping. You skin the core hounds. Don't forget to skin the core hounds. It's like there were so many amazing moments for me that it was like complete flashback to 10 years in the past. So the Wipe Fest is real. And what's amazing is that's how it was like 10 years ago. Like, I am super excited about this just because it just really brought me back to like wiping constantly over and over and over again, just on the trash.
Right.
And that's how it was back then. So I'm not saying that like old pain of the past should be brought to today, but it really like just brought me back. I just loved it. Like being in there again. Like it just, I really geeked out, man. I really geeked out. But I will say,
in time.
I queued up for an LFR, just like yourself, a single lone warrior.
Okay.
And in that raid at the time when it was raiding, this is like an 8-hour raid. Like that's what it was. It took
It still is. Don't worry.
It still is. I know. But it was like, yeah, the fiery cores and everything that they're saying in the chat room. And at the end, we actually cleared it. We downed Ragnaros at the end of Molten Core LFR. I got the mount. Yes.
Lots of applause this week.
Yes. So fortunately, this LFR group I was in, you know, this is how the LFRs start. It all starts out really, really bad. And it's nothing but uppercase and your mama is this and that. And it's all terrible. Like it's old your mama jokes like from the 90s. It's amazing. And then those people leave or they get kicked and then they get replaced by good people that actually want to clear it. And then all of a sudden the LFR starts working together and starts CCing stuff and things start to go and we all band together as brothers. And we defeat Ragnaros at the end. Like, that's how my LFR went. And I've been hearing some similar stories that it starts off really bad, but eventually those people leave, and then it gets better. It gets better.
If you can make it past the core hounds.
Right.
Yes.
The core hounds and the fire lords, the two infinitely respawning trash. If you can make it past those things, it's pretty good.
Right. I actually asked some people on Twitter what was going on. You know, I was just like, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult is it, and what's the hardest part? And like Pasha, she said 10 out of 10, the worst. Haven't made it to bosses. I know that she got her mount though later. So
she said trash. The trash.
The trash.
The hardest part in this whole place is the trash.
Yep. And Steve Haymaker said 11 out of 10, and that the dogs were the worst. Steve Haymaker, by the way, he puts out the strip Plox. It's an online strip, and it's all about rating. So go check it out. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
His dial goes up to 11.
Yes. And then, but I mean, it's kind of like if you can make it through the trash and if you can work together as a group, it's okay. But 40-man raids are just tough, just in general. Right. And I'm guessing that first day was really horrible. I don't know.
Yes, and I love it that for so long everyone's like, bring back 40-man raids. And
right.
WoW raiding used to be so much better back in the day. Oh, really? Well, here you go. Here's 40 people. Try and organize this.
Here you go. Remember this? Remember this, guys? Never forget. Right. And then all the new guys like me that haven't played, you know, I played that. I did Molten Core with iTunes, but with the iTunes project, the low level guys. But that was totally different.
Different. Yeah.
Oh.
But there is some good news.
What?
Blizzard has started nerfing Molten Core.
Oh, should I do it again?
Started up the nerfs.
I should. Here, I'll do it again. So,
yes, there
more
are
applause
that are going out. They're reducing the health. They're reducing some of the damage. They're not doing hardcore, Because remember, too, Molten Core, this thing's going to be out for a while. We've got some time here.
Yeah.
It does award a 640 helm at the end, which is great. It's got a guaranteed mount, the Core Hound mount. Plus, you have a chance to get, this is again off the final boss, Ragnaros, and you have to defeat all of them to unlock Ragnaros, so you can't just skip to the end.
Right.
You have a chance to get a pet and also a weapon enchant that's like a fiery weapon enchant thing that you can get as well. There's a chance.
Right.
Yeah, if you're not looking to rush into raids or get that, helm right away or anything like that, just give this LFR a few weeks maybe. The only loot that can drop are the ones that are mentioned. Most of the bosses, or all the bosses except Rag, don't drop anything anyway. And if you give this a few weeks, people are going to be way over that 615 minimum threshold. Most people are at or just under that, and they're using maybe PvP gear and a few other things to get to that 615. So if you wait a couple weeks, people will be 630, 640, 650, and this will be a lot easier than that. People have also figured out that you don't single target down the Core Hounds; you AOE them. So the experience will get better if you just wait. If you're really worried about the stories you've been hearing, and some of them are true,
right?
Give it a few weeks, and you'll be all right.
There are some things to look out for, and I think that we have the list in front of us along with all the different strats for these things. And if you're looking, and we should probably just roll through this stuff. But I think
good idea.
In general, I think that we can say a couple of different things. The trash is not easy, so pull slow, go slow especially at first. Go slow. Next is that dispels and decursing and all that stuff is real. You must do it.
There's a lot of dispelling.
Even if you're not a healer, help with dispels because, man, I tell you, mana is an issue for people.
Right.
There.
The best thing you can have or be in that group is a Shadow Priest and just mass dispel almost on cooldown.
Right. And Core Hound packs, they have to go down at the same time. This is the biggest thing ever. Otherwise, they'll just respawn. Last night when I went in as a solo, the Core Hounds were going down, and then the tank moved on to the next pile. And I'm like, no, you do not go on to the next. You wait until they despawn.
Yeah, wait until they despawn.
Wait until they despawn. Otherwise, you're going to have like 3 packs on you, and you can't down all of those guys and stay alive. You just can't. You just can't. Watch out for those imps, too. Those imps. Oh, God. Those guys are just all over the place.
I love it. I love hearing this.
All this trash is like, oh, no. What is happening? Well, let's run down kind of boss through boss. And let's kind of do a round robin here. And Colt, maybe you should start it off, and then Darius, and then me. How's that?
Sure.
All right.
Lucifron.
Yeah.
Big baddie Lucifron. Kill the ads first and dispel impending doom and decurse Lucifron's curse.
Right.
Very important.
Yes. Darius, Magmadar, right?
Magmadar's break out of fear wards or use tremor totem, something like that when he fears. Remove enrage with a trank shot or a shiv or a soothe or something like that, and just keep him pointed away.
Right.
From the raid.
Right. And Gehennas, is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. Kill the ads first. Decurse immediately, especially off of a tank, and stay out of the fire. Always a big thing.
That's a big thing in Molten Core in general.
Yeah, big thing in general. Fire bad. This is where we learned it all.
Bad.
Yeah. All right. Colt.
Gar. Kill the rock ads first. Dispel the movement speed debuff. Recast buffs when he dispels the raid.
Yes. And Darius.
This is Shazra. Clear trash before the fight. Clear all the trash before the fight. Make sure you're decursing. Make sure you're purging, dispelling, spell stealing the magic grounding buff from the boss. And range, make sure you're always 30 yards away due to the boss's counterspell.
Right. And then we have Baron Geddon. The trash in there.
This is the best.
Oh, it's so bad though. It's so bad. Make sure to dispel ignite mana off of the healers. Run out if you have living bomb, and melee run out during inferno. All these things. Living bomb.
He's the one boss that you might die on. You might wipe on.
Oh yeah.
Living bomb.
Even in the iTunes group, we were dying on Baron Geddon all the time because those mechanics are weird. So.
I saw a lot of people like, oh, I've got living bomb. Better run to the healers.
Right.
Bad idea. Bad idea. Then we have Golmag the Incinerator.
Yeah.
1 tank on the boss, 1 on ads, taunt swap, DPS, focus boss first since the dogs won't die while Golmag is alive.
Yeah. Darius?
Now, I think Golmag.
Yeah.
This
focus the boss first.
This was the same in Molten Core. There's actually a loot chest behind him. If you walk up behind the boss, right up, there's like this little cave right behind him. Just walk into that. There's a loot chest in there. Don't worry. It won't immediately kill you.
Not immediately.
Yeah. So Furon, this is one. You want 1 tank to take the boss, 1 on the ads. You have to interrupt the heal from the ad, or at least keep it CC'd. That's really hard to do in 40-man though. So have someone on it that's interrupting it. Stay spread out and save the healing cooldowns for when he casts Inspire.
Right. And then we have Major Domo Executus, and I think I did say Domo.
Yeah.
Make sure to split ads amongst the tanks, and then mark a kill order. Just you want to focus them down one at a time, and you take your time with it. Just be nice and easy, right?
On that guy too, you want to down the healers first. They're literally labeled healer. Like kill those guys first, then the elites, but don't damage Domo.
Oh wait, sorry.
Domo.
Yeah. Because you have to kill him for the fight. You don't have to kill him. I love hearing that again. I haven't heard that forever.
I put that back on the soundboard just because I knew we were going to be talking about Major Domo.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we are going right back in time with that one.
Oh, yes, we are.
Gotta get back in time.
All right. I think we've hit our quotient for a while. We've hit our limit for a while.
Oh, there we go. I lost my headphones. I kicked out my headphone plug.
Wow.
Because I was so happy that we were talking about.
Happy.
Yeah, I was so happy that we were going.
Gotta get back in time.
Yeah, going back there. Mm-hmm.
But right. I think just on that guy, you don't kill him, so don't bother DPSing him. No. Once all of his ads are dead, then he's like, all right.
I'm out of here.
Kill. Yeah. Okay, we're cool. I'm going to go summon the big bad boy Ragnaros.
Right. So then we have Rags. Cold.
Ragnaros.
Yeah.
Healers. Watch for the fire dot on players. DPS with your backs against the stone walls as much as possible to mitigate the knockback.
Right.
This is the bad boy. This is for all the marbles. This is Rags. You are going to get knocked in the air. When you land in lava, get out of lava. There's plenty of room there to kind of run around. He's not going to knock you like 40 yards back. He's going to give you a little punt. You know, you get a little boot. Mm-hmm. But there is a huge amount of RP at the top of this fight. So, Darius, any advice?
Yeah. So, one thing to know, it's about a minute and a half of RP. So if your name is Sharku and you're a mage, do not bloodlust on the pull.
Right. Yeah.
If you would like to see 39 other people be really mad at you, bloodlust on the pull.
Is that what happened?
Oh, yes.
Did Shark do that?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, he did.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't want to say his name, but it slipped out.
But it slipped out.
It slipped out.
Totally intentionally. I mean, it was totally intentional. Sorry, guys. That was intentional.
He was so excited.
He literally pulled a Pee Wee Herman and went, I meant to do that. It was like amazing. But yes, you want to wait. So you pull, there's going to be a lot of RP, and then the fight begins, and then bloodlust.
Right. And I didn't make it to that at all. Last night because I was just in there for a little bit and they couldn't get the dogs down and I'm like I'm out. I'm just gonna try this later.
Didn't even make it to Rag.
I didn't even make it to the first boss. There was no way. I was like in there for what 20-30 minutes and we were still on Corehounds.
That when they queued and waited in their half-hour queue, they zoned in and Rags was already dead. So, at least you weren't those people.
Right. How long is the Rags fight? How long can we expect that to be?
It's a couple minutes. It's not very long.
It's not too long. It's got a little bit of juice in it. It's, 3-4 minutes, maybe something like that, maybe 5. But it's not like it was old school. You'd one shot the guy.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's definitely better now. Back in the day in Classic, talk about buffs. They were 5 minutes long, man.
Were you in Classic?
I was in, I don't know if you guys were aware of this. I was actually in Classic WoW. I was in Vanilla WoW.
Wow.
It's also being called.
I had no idea.
That's crazy.
But here's the best part. You want to talk about that boss where he like dispels everyone and you got to rebuff the raid? 40 people and you could only do it individually. There wasn't like mass buffs. And they lasted for 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
So the whole time, like paladins were just like recasting buffs.
That's all it was. It was paladins were doing that, mages, and yeah. It was.
All mages were doing was make water and cast frostbolt. That's all we did. It's really, we were water vending machines. But anyway,
that's good.
I wouldn't know anything about this. I didn't play in vanilla or classic, so you know.
Right. No, not at all.
He's just been reading about it.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
That's all I've been doing. Just reading about it. I experienced a little bit of it last night, and I feel your pain, guys. So if you were playing in classic, man, I salute you. Absolutely. We also had, so that's it for the 10-year celebration for all the back to school stuff, or kicking it old school stuff, and back to school, whatever. But we also had another thing kind of revealed this week from World of Warcraft on their website, which was the journey into Highmaul, kind of an overview of the bosses that you can expect for Highmaul. And this is cool. We won't really go into too much detail with the actual thing this week. Colt, let's work on something for next week. We'll see what's going on. But there are some things that we should keep in mind as we go through. And we saw a little bit of the fights with the raid panel at BlizzCon, right? We saw the 4 bosses, and then we have 3 optionals, which is kind of cool. But Darius, do you want to go into kind of some of the basics on what we can expect going into this raid?
So loot wise,
yeah.
So loot is going to be, it's going to be different than it has been in the past for normal and heroic, not for mythic. Mythic will continue to be exactly how heroic has always been. Once you kill a boss, that's it. It's dead. You can't go back. But normal and heroic is going to be a loot-based lockout. So what that means is you can kill a boss as many times per week as you like. It will only drop loot once per difficulty, though. So you can kill it on heroic 10 times, but it's only going to drop loot once. And then you can go back and you can kill it on normal, and it'll drop loot again. But that's it. Just those it. So you can go back and you can if you're on one raid team and then you want to clear out with another raid team on a Monday night or something like that, and they're at a different boss, you can do that. It means that bosses are never locked, so you can go back and do them multiple times. Maybe you've got a group that's working on a mythic strategy, but you don't want to try it in mythic because you can't, you're just figuring it out. You can go and you can do this multiple times on heroic or normal, and you won't be saved to it every time you kill it. Right. Your raid sizes are going to be anywhere from 10 players to 30 players. They scale up just like Flex did in the past. You can have need before greed, I believe, in normal and heroic, or you can set it to personal if you want.
Right.
So those are all the big changes for these raids in terms of loot and progression. Which is again, Mythic stays exactly the same in the way it's been in the past, though. Nothing changes for that.
Right. But that's really cool, being able to not be locked out on bosses and be able to go fight with your friends no matter where they're at. I mean, this is a really great change, and I'm looking forward to seeing it in action for Warlords. Colt, what are your thoughts on this whole deal?
Well, quick question. So you're saying like we got ourselves a little Kargath blade fist, right?
Yeah.
Yep. We got a little, blade for a fist. And so you're saying that I can kill him once on normal, drop some loot.
Yep.
And then I can go back through another time on heroic, kill him again, get some loot, get some heroic level loot. And then I can go back through with my buddies, again, help them out, kill Kargath again on normal, but this time I don't get no loot.
Right.
But I can still help kill that boss.
Correct.
And same with heroic. So you're going to get one piece of loot, but that's you're going to get a normal piece, and then you also get a heroic piece if you kill him on that. You won't be locked out of the boss. I'm just clarifying just to make sure.
Yep.
And then on Mythic, that's going to be kind of how it is now. You'll be locked out.
Right.
Are you going to be able, with this non-lockout system, are you still going to be able to like skip bosses? Or, like what if like, okay, we're going in heroic, we've already killed. Well, I'm wondering. I guess if you're going to go in, it'll always be at the beginning, right? You won't be able to like join somebody else's raid where they're on boss 4.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if that was clarified or not.
I think they said it takes whatever the raid leader's furthest lockout is, and that's where you will start.
Okay.
But if you don't want that, you just make someone else that's not cleared the raid leader.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I remember that as well. So.
Okay, good.
Very cool.
Good.
Very cool. And then we also have a bunch of stuff coming up with the raid lockout schedule or the unlock schedule. We have normal and heroic coming December 2nd. We've got mythic coming out December 9th, along with the first wing of Raid Finder.
LFR.
And then
that's
we
the
have
first 3 bosses.
Right. And then so we have 3 wings of LFR this time around. We have the first wing coming out on December 9th. We have the next one coming out December 16th. And then if you want to kill the final boss in there, you have to wait until the new year. You have to wait until 2015. A whole year away.
Wow.
No, it's not a whole
already,
year.
Blizz. It's a year later.
A year away, yeah.
It's already starting. Oh, my gosh.
That's right.
At least
It is
we're getting it
interesting.
out of the way now.
Right.
That the final wing is just one boss, though. It's
Yeah. So
a
if you want
solo boss.
So if you want to kill that last boss, you're going to have to wait until 2015. Oof.
January 6th,
It seems like so long
See
away.
you guys in a year.
Right.
2015. Oof.
Mhm.
Yikes.
I don't know. But you understand. I mean, we understand why it's happening. It's because of the holiday season and all that kind of stuff, and you just don't want to deal with all that kind of stuff. Any problems that are coming up over the Christmas holiday season. So, yeah. So tough luck if you're in LFR only. But this is a great time to get into normals and heroics. I think it just,
Yeah, man.
I think it'll just
Perfect
push people
time
in
for
there. So that's good. That's good. Anything else about the Highmaul raid that you guys want to talk about at all?
Just excited, man. Everyone's gearing up, getting ready, getting their eye levels up, and running heroics. Going to start some CMs. It's good. CMs are no joke, but I hear people are actually having a lot more success now that everyone's getting some gear. So excitement is building, man. Excitement is building till December 2nd.
Oh, this is exciting.
It is exciting.
All right.
It's a raid again.
Yes. And we also get to check out our garrisons more and more. And if you guys want this is actually pretty cool. Wowhead has actually come out, not with only with all the guides for garrisons. I think they have about just 20 guides on garrisons alone.
Yeah.
Pretty much. They also came out with a mobile app where you can track your garrison missions and work orders. And it's just basically sets timers for all of your stuff when it comes due, so you can min-max your garrison a little bit better.
Which is great. Which is fantastic. And something I definitely am going to pick up immediately.
I think it's only on Android at the moment, though.
Oh, is it?
According to their website, yeah, it's only on Android.
All right.
Yeah, it's not on iOS just yet, but it says coming soon to iOS. One quick thing, too, for those that are coming back.
Yeah.
Wowhead is a great source, and this is what Wowhead used to be strictly for, and now they've, of course, expanded on it. If you're struggling on a quest and you don't know where do I kill the mob, or what do I do, or how do I defeat this boss, go to wowhead.com, and in a little search window, it says search the database, type in the name of the quest, and when you click on it, choose quest, click comments. Usually, someone has posted a comment on what to do, on how to defeat a particular boss.
Right.
I know for me, on the legendary quest ring, I was queuing as DPS, and I was struggling a little bit on this final part of it, where these orb things are falling. What am I supposed to do with these? What's going on? And I looked it up in Wowhead, and somebody said, oh, stand underneath those, and that'll, oh, right. And I one-shot it. It was great.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I highly recommend wowhead.com. If you're struggling with a quest, no matter what it is, type in the name of the quest, click comments, and people will usually post a solve or something that they did that helped them complete that quest. So highly recommended for you guys.
Yeah, and they have so many guides for Warlords. It's incredible. It's so crazy.
Absolutely.
They have a guide for pretty much everything. And like I was saying, they really do have like a half dozen guides on garrisons alone, plus all the guides on each individual building. So I mean, it's There's a lot going on.
It's kind of become like kind of a one-stop shop. Like I used to only go to Wowhead just for the quest stuff.
Yeah.
But now it's got news, it's got guides, it's got like everything. So
yeah.
So big, congrats to all the guys over at wowhead.com. They've really kicked it up a notch for Warlords. It's been great.
You can get a little lost in there, though. That's the only comment that I would say about that. So, I mean, just make sure you know what you're looking for. And especially if you're going on a particular quest or a quest line that you're looking for, you can just type that into the search window and you're good to go, which is great.
Good to go.
Which is great. All right. Well, let's maybe take a call or something.
We've got mail.
We do. And if you have a question about anything about raiding or anything else, just let us know. We'll try to answer it on the show. You can email us at converttoraid@gmail.com, or you can call our raid line, 612-787-RAID. And somebody actually did that this week. So let's play it down.
Hey guys, love the show. Missed you guys for like 3 weeks. That was horrible. I'll be quick. I heard Coltrane talking about doing the Garrison missions and trying to go out with his wife and stuff. And I have a wife. I'm juggling 2 kids. The third one on the way. Is about to come out, in a couple weeks here. And so I've set up Splashtop on my computer, and I've set up Splashtop on my iPad and iPhone and stuff. So while I'm at work, I can quickly get some ETT in and log in. Hearth, using my Garrison Hearthstone, that puts you right in front of the table, and then you can just right-click that mission table and use it. Set up your missions while you're relieving yourself. So anyway, hopefully that helps you guys out in juggling this adult world that we live in. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the call, and congratulations on the new one on the way. That's amazing.
That's fantastic.
So
that's great.
So he set up Splashtop. Darius, what is Splashtop?
So a Splashtop is a remote desktop application. It allows you to remote into your computer at home. So if you leave your computer at home on, you can remote desktop into it and see the screen as if you were there.
Right.
And if you're doing garrisons and stuff, it actually works really well. If you're trying to do a dungeon or a raid, it's not going to work. Your latency is going to be really bad.
It's going to be like if you're playing from Australia or something.
But yeah, it's you can definitely do that. There are a few other alternatives out there too that actually allow you to do your garrisons and whatnot from your phone. You're sitting on the train or something like that. I want to say driving into work, but that's a really bad time to actually be looking at your phone. Don't do that.
Please don't do that. No, but that's cool, man.
And just to clarify, ETT is known as effective toilet time.
That's right.
So this guy's doing it right. That's where basically when you're on the toilet and you need something to do, might as well get some Garrison missions done, right? So use your ETT effectively. This is something that all of us need to be doing as raiders. ETT is the most important thing you can do as a raider.
Right.
So be ready, be reading on what to do with the raids, but more importantly, when you're on the toilet, send out your followers on those missions and get that bad thing done. Get that bad boy done. So I'm going to check out this Splashtop because I've heard about it. Mm-hmm. But man, if I could be doing the ETT at the same time, that's fantastic.
Right.
Although,
it is.
Yes.
Breaking out all the sounders this week.
That's right.
Man, I don't know. Yeah, very, very cool. And thanks for your call, for sure. Maybe we should get into some 5 stars here. Oh, there we go. Aha, there's the music.
Ooh.
There's the music that Derry loves.
He loves this stuff.
He loves it. Let's give a shout out to listeners who gave us a 5-star recently on iTunes. Derry's what we got.
We've got Iceman7438 and MT Angel 132.
Alrighty, cool. And thank you guys for all the shout outs this week, for telling your friends about the show, for going to YouTube, checking us out over there. Any other shout outs this week, fellas?
I got a big one. I got a big shout out to Boone and his lovely new wife. They got married this last Friday. On Friday, they got married.
Big applause for Boone. Congrats,
yes.
man.
So congratulations, my man. That's awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah, big shout out to those two. Wish them the best. A long and wonderful, lovely marriage. So wish them the best. That's wonderful.
Cool. Darius, you got anything?
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Holy Paladin Rezalius, I think is his name. He's not on Airy Peak. I actually can't remember the server he's on, but he found there was a group of 4 of us that were doing heroics, and we queued without a healer, and he happened to be the healer, and he's a big fan of the show. So I want to give a shout out to him. He did an awesome job. We did 3 or 4 heroics with him. Right. So thanks a lot.
What's on tap this week, fellas? What are you planning on doing? Anything big in game or even outside of game that you want to talk about a little bit?
Well, it is Turkey Day. It's Turkey Day.
Yeah. That's right. Gobble gobble.
Gobble gobble. And it is my birthday, actually, believe it or not.
Oh, happy birthday, Coltrane!
Thank you. Woo!
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
How old are you going to be? 23?
I'm going to be 23. Yes.
23.
I finally turned 23. So it's great. Very excited about that.
And for your birthday this year, you get a big feast with your family.
Yeah.
Just like every year.
Oh, yes. There's nothing quite like after turkey and everyone goes, happy birthday.
No, they're all falling asleep. Yep. They're tucking their hand down their pants and watching football.
That's right. That sounds like a birthday for Coltrane.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you guys for all that you do out there, for listening to us, for checking us out, for rating us on iTunes, all that kind of stuff, for the feedback, for the questions. Feel free to join in whenever you can, and I'll tell you how to do that right after I bail on the music.
Aw. You're just going to bail out?
That's right. I'm going to bail out, and I'm going to play...
every week.
This one. There we go. Okay.
Ooh.
All right. If you want to join in on the conversation, please email us, converttoraid@gmail.com. You can call and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. You can follow us on Twitter at ConvertToRaid, or even individually. Isn't that right, Coltrane?
You can follow Pat Crane at Pat Crane. You can follow Coltrane at _Coltrane. And you can follow Darius at BoardMine.
That's right. And you can go. You can always join the Bazooba Guabo Nation by heading over to ConvertToRaid.com. That's where everything is. Our videos, our audio, everything. Everything is over there. Our live feed and video show is also on GameBreaker.tv. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends and your mom and your mom's friends. Sure. I'm sure they're into it. The audio show is everywhere, but again, ConvertToRaid.com, that is your hub for everything. The Convert to Raid podcast is produced and distributed by Signals Media. Make sure to check out all of our friends at signalsmedia.com from the Signals Media All-Star Network. And that's going to be it for the show. Hope you had a great time, and we'll see you next week. 11 a.m. Central.
Woo!
Right? That's right. And for all the guys at Convert to Raid, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.